Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode on the Hermitcraft server. Today is going to be an epic episode. Do you want to know why? Because we are going to get an absolute ton of stuff done in today's episode. I've been thinking about it, I really want to crack on and get as much of this wastelands biome done as possible. Now what I can do in one episode, even when I work really hard on it, is not going to be a lot compared to what needs to be done overall, but I have been extremely busy. And you can see there are tons of chests over the back here. Can you guess what these are full of? They are full of sand. And it's about 2/3 of the way full up at the moment. As you can see here. Got quite a few chests here that aren't properly full up. But yeah, I think actually it looks like we're more like halfway across. We've just gone over the halfway point. But yeah, I've been extremely busy digging. I've gone through tons of shovels. You can see I've got a couple here. I have actually broken quite a few, but I'm getting better at it slowly. So I want to keep all of the shovels that I have here. I think I had another 2, so that's 4 and then 2 in here. So I think I had about 8 shovels at one point, but I broke a couple of them. And I came over here with 55 diamonds. We're now down to 28. And I've been thinking about the villager breeding because we have a village over there and you can breed those and get, diamond trades for diamond armor, and that is something we've got to do in the future because repairing all of these shovels is very costly. But one little funny story before we go outside and I show you what we do. What I've done, got to correct myself. We had the chests over here. We had some walls and I had the chests sort of on the sides before I decided, okay, I need to dig out a large area and make sure that there's lots of chests. And when I was actually doing this, putting these chests in place, I was standing over here trying to move some sand from one chest to another, and a creeper came in down here. So since then I've added these fence gates for extra security, and it blew me up and it blew up all of the chests with it. Now my items all went on the floor, and all of the sand from the chests, which is absolutely tons of it, went down right on top of it. So as soon as I respawned, which is over there in my bed, I went and jumped down and tried to pick up my items, and the only item I got that wasn't sand was my flint and steel, which ironically I don't have in my inventory at the moment. So I came over here and I was trying to craft chests. I think I got some wood, started crafting a chest, and out of the corner of my eye, I had this screen up, I saw a creeper come round the corner here where my mouse cursor is. So I backed away and the only thing I had on me was the flint and steel, and I had a little game with the creeper. I was setting the floor on fire, running around. It was so funny. And unfortunately DX story wasn't on, so I couldn't hit the record button and just capture that. But anyway, enough about that. Let's go and have a look at the progress I've been making. You can see I've cleared an absolute ton of sand around the centre here, and the reason why is because I've decided I know what I want to do about these hills. We're going to keep possibly one hill in this area, which is the one all the way there over in the distance, but all of this stuff that you can see here, it's all got to go. When I picture the wastelands in my mind and the big hole that goes down into the base, it's always flat, so I think this whole thing is going to have to go basically. So this is what I've been doing. It's it doesn't look quite as big now that I've been going around this often and digging, but it is quite a lot done. I think that's about 1/9 of the entire map that we've dug out now, which is pretty good. But basically where we left off last episode, we had 2 chunks that I had dug out in that episode, and so I decided, what I'm going to do, I'm going to dig out the other 2. So we got the 4 chunks in the very centre dug out. And then I thought, well, why don't I make this a little bit bigger? So I dug the chunks around the outside of that, and then I did the same thing again and and dug the chunks outside of that as well. So this thing is 6 chunks wide in both directions. So that is a hell of a lot of chunks that I've been digging all of the sand out of. But we are basically going to have to flatten all of this because I want the wastelands biome to be flat, so that's kind of what we're going to do today. A lot of this is going to be me giving you progress updates, and I'm going to be doing a ton of stuff. I'm probably going to record it all as well, just in case anything funny happens, like with the creeper. But what we want to do is dig another chunk outwards all the way around this, so it's going to be 8x8 chunks, and that's what we're going to start off with before we do any flattening. So I don't think there's anything too interesting to comment on. Doing the rivers, filling in the rivers and then emptying them out again, that is really tedious, and I do not enjoy that because the rest of it takes about half the time compared to filling in a river and then emptying it again. So there's nothing much more for me to say really. I've just got to crack on with it. I'm not sure where we're going to start from, but we're just going to be digging around from probably over here and going all the way around. So 16 blocks in each direction, 8x8 chunks, and I'll be back maybe when that's finished. Maybe there'll be something to report on before. Okay, I haven't done all of it just yet, but I have done a fair amount. I've done about 60%. You can see up to the river on either side. So somewhere over there, I've gone all the way down this side, all the way around there, and then all the way down this side over to the river, which I've just finished doing. Now the rivers are a bit of a pain because you have to fill them all in before you can dig them back out, and that's quite time consuming. But I was digging away past the river and I fell down into a hole, and then I got attacked by a load of zombies because I have found myself a zombie spawner. Now it's a shame that it wasn't a skeleton spawner. That would be a lot more useful because of the bone meal, but I still think there's things we could use this zombie spawner for. I've got a few ideas for that. But if you have a look, we're not too far away from the central sort of area, so this thing is definitely going to be useful, and it's probably going to become a part of the base. So I thought what I would do is bring some torches down and light this thing up quickly on camera. It shouldn't take more than a moment, and because that's a small room, I wouldn't be surprised if that one torch alone can handle this, which it would appear it could. Ah, and the loot. I didn't even think about this. A couple of name tags and saddles, that is always welcome. Some iron horse armour. Now the only way you can get that now is from dungeons. They decided to make it uncraftable, which I think is a good idea. It's nice to have rare items, even though I don't really use horses. Don't know why that took me a moment. Right, so let's just see what's in here. Absolutely nothing. Let's put a torch down. Now I haven't gone caving in this area at all, so one of the things we will have to do soon is use the map, because that will let us know how far to go and sort of cave the entire area, try and light everything up and find what kind of goodies we have. So it's good to know we have a zombie spawner. What I need to do here is press F3 and then press F2, and that way I can just look in my screenshots folder and find out when it is, where it is even. So we are so very nearly done. Check this out. Just got this corner bit here to do now, and then it's all finished. But at the moment I'm out of spades. This is my last one, and I think I had about 7 or 8 of these, and I only broke one of them, which was just an efficiency 4 one. So I feel like I'm getting better at holding on to those, but it is annoying every time they break. It just really annoys me. So there's this game I play, by the way. This little gap over here. Now what I do is I aim at the beacon, and it's actually really good that it's like that, because I can look at the beacon and throw up an ender pearl. So what I try and do is throw it up and then land on the inside of the pyramid. Let's see where we land. Nowhere near. And I've been trying to do it for ages, and a moment ago I just did it. It landed right on the inside here, so I basically dropped straight down inside here, which is pretty cool. But we are really filling this up now. You can see we've got tons and tons of sand, just these chests here left to fill up, which will probably be the last of that corner as well. So I died. I wasn't recording. I know I was supposed to be, but it just kind of happened out of nowhere. I was digging at night and I got surrounded by zombies and I got killed. One of the annoying things that happened there, though, was that I threw my ender pearl over the hill into the sky and nothing seemed to happen. I kept moving away from the zombies and eventually they surrounded me, and yeah, it never teleported me. Now when I respawned, it didn't teleport me later or anything, and I'm wondering what could have happened. Right as I say it, I wonder if it went through the nether. It could have gone through the nether portal. Let's have a look. I think... Oh, hello. I was going to say that damage might have been the ender pearl, but it looks like it was a spider. Oh, that's crazy. Maybe it did go through here, maybe it didn't. But if you noticed the screenshot, you would have noticed the date that I'm actually recording on this on even. And I'm making an early start because I've got a hell of a lot to do. You'll see in a minute when we finish that corner bit, we're going to start flattening all of this mountain. And so later in this video we will get to all the comments and stuff like that. You guys know I like to keep on top of my comments and reply to them in the videos as well. So anyway, what I need to do next though is go over to the ender farm, because yeah, we've only got 5 shovels left. Well, I need to enchant some more, do some repairs, and one thing I've been forgetting to do is I've been repairing these with individual diamonds, where I think some of them, like this one, I could repair with just an actual spade that hasn't been enchanted yet. So hopefully this time I'm going to save on some diamonds, but it's time to head over to the end farm. So I am back from the Enderman farm, and I gotta say I have a lot of luck with enchanting. Check this out. While I was there I did 2 picks. I got a Fortune 3 and a Silk Touch. That is a hell of a lot of luck, but I also forgot to rename them, so I can't use those just yet. Now while I was there I made these boots as well. These only have feather falling 4 on, so I used a book to add that. But the reason they only have feather falling is because these types of enchantments, they absorb the damage into the durability. So protection, if I had protection 4 on these boots, they would have been worn out by now, because that damage gets converted into a loss of durability. So that's why we don't have protection on there, so it's only going to take feather falling and the regular durability that it will lose as we go along. But that's good because I've been throwing around my ender pearls and I've been relying on this beacon's regeneration, which we're going to change because we're going to start mining on the outside with our pick, and it's night time, so I'm just going to sleep in this bed quickly. So let's go up top and grab the map and have a look at the progress that I've made. This is all finished now. Check it out, the entire big square has been done. This bit over the end here took a really long time because the river goes right through all of that, and it was just a bit of a nightmare, but we got it done in the end. And the next thing for us to do is to start flattening out this area around here, because we're going to flatten all of the land that you see right here. So we're going to change the beacon over to haste so that we can have instant mine, which we're going to need efficiency 5 picks for, and I don't actually think I brought a lot of them over here. Let's have a look. So we've got one there that's also silk touch, and another one there that's efficiency 5, and another one. So we've actually got a few to get through here. That's good. So I won't have to take too many trips back and forth. Another thing as well, I've been forgetting to do this. I'm really annoyed because I've wasted a lot of diamonds repairing things. Now when they're too expensive, when they have enchantments like fortune and silk touch, it means that you can't do, I think it's this way around, like that, and just repair it with 1 diamond basically. But you can do it with these ones, and I've been forgetting about that, and I've talked about that many times. I really need to just make a rule book for myself, and then we won't waste any diamonds. But there you go, we're down to 7 now. That is crazy. So I've been reading the comments on the video that I just posted, although it's only just gone up right as I've got to this point, which is where I really need to crack on and get rid of all of this land in the middle. So we're going to talk about that in a moment, but one thing I have to point out, some people have pointed out to me even, is that I keep referring to this thing as a jungle temple. And if you've been watching me for a while, you'll know that I do that. I mean, I can't help it really. It's just the way my brain works. It has trouble calling up the right words for things sometimes, and then I end up saying something silly like jungle temple. And this is not a jungle temple, it is a desert temple. So anyway, we're going to change the beacon and start digging. I'm probably not going to time-lapse it or anything like that because it's going to be a bit boring. It's just going to be me flattening all of this out, but I might show you how it's going, give you a little progress update as I'm doing it. I'll tell you what, I am really going to enjoy this. Instant mining smooth stone is really satisfying and this isn't going to take much time at all now, is it? But the reason that I decided to record is because over here I have found a little lava lake. Now this is quite unexpected. These things though, they do spawn near the surface, but one of this size just underneath, this is Y62, is a little unexpected. Now I first thought to fill this in, but then I thought about it a little bit, and do you know what? Having a chest full of lava buckets is a good idea, because whenever you need lava, there's always a time when you need it for something or other, and then you have to go searching for it. So by keeping a load stocked up in chests, that would be a really good idea. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to craft tons and tons of buckets, turn them into lava buckets, and then store them in some chests. Now it's just occurred to me that we're going to be collecting an absolute ton of materials, probably as much as we've got sand already. Maybe not quite as much, but yeah, a lot of materials is going to come out of this. So we need to expand our little, I was about to say jungle temple, it's a desert temple or a desert pyramid. We need to expand the storage area, so I'm probably going to be doing the same thing over here on the other side. So we're going to have to craft a lot of chests and start moving those items over here, but it is going to be a lot of fun because I'm just really motivated to do this project, I don't know what it is, but it's going to look amazing when it's done, and all the digging, grinding stuff, it can be boring sometimes, but when you're in the mood for it, you want to crack on and get as much done as you can. So anyway, I'm going to obviously take loads of buckets and get all the lava from that, and I'll come back in a bit with a progress update. So it is that time again. My picks are pretty much worn out, and I need to go to the Enderman farm, so I thought before I go, time for a little mini progress update this time. I'm not going to spend too long talking. Have a look out there. Look at that! I've been digging away like an absolute madman. This is so much fun, and I think one of the reasons it's so easy to do is just because of how fast you can remove the blocks. It's quite satisfying to, remove them all quickly, but it allows you to do a lot of progress in not a lot of time. and so I don't think it's really going to take that long to get through all of this. It's just a case of how long my picks are going to last, because I've gone through 3 of them very quickly, and I've only got 3 efficiency 5 ones. Now 2 of those are silk touch, and that was probably a bad idea because they're not really cut out for these projects, because repairing them is going to cost me about 4 diamonds and a lot of time, whereas I could make a diamond pick, I think, and repair this one with just 3 diamonds, which, when I say a lot of time, I mean time grinding the Enderman, which isn't really something I'd factor in, actually, now that I think about it, because it's only a few extra levels that you have to get. But anyway, enough rambling. I'm going to go over there and attempt to repair all of these picks and also upgrade some of them as well. So I've done all of my enchanting, and I can't really remember what exactly it was that I got, but I got a ton of new picks, as you can see here, and so we are well equipped for doing this. I'm not really going to go through the details. Now I've already burned through an extra pick, but before we leave, one other thing I wanted to show you, the lava buckets. I filled up 2 double chests and more with those. I forgot to mention that. But if we go outside, I'll show you the rest of the digging that I've done. Now, my last recorded yesterday, so I can't remember how far I got, but basically all of this over here is done. And if we go round to the other side, I've dug at this height all the way across to the other side over there, and all the way across here as well, which took me a lot of time, but it's not so bad. We're making good progress. But I've been looking at this and I've been thinking, can I actually get this done before this episode has to be uploaded? Because the plan was to get all of this flattened and to start digging the hole. Now, compared to what I've done already, I'd say what's left is going to take me 2 or 3 times as long, and I really don't have the time for that. And I didn't want my episodes to be, you know, just me digging, but it looks like it might have to be. And you can probably hear my spacebar. Listen to that. It's so loud. People always comment on that. But speaking of the comments, one of the things that was mentioned a lot was volcanoes. And when I say a lot, compared to the amount of comments, it wasn't, but it kept coming up. People kept suggesting volcanoes, and so I've got to say I have a vision for this place that I want to stick to. Now, I don't want to go into too much detail for what I'm going to be doing in terms of all the projects in this wastelands area, but I think this wastelands has to be flat, as far as you can see. That just kind of feels right, because there's things I want to build on the wasteland eventually, which you will see one day. It might be a long way away. So even all of this stuff over here, I think I might keep that one off in the distance, but a lot of this is going to get flattened. So all of this over here, that area over there is fairly level. I might just leave it like that so it goes up a bit in the distance. Over here is fairly flat, so that's probably all going to stay the same. And then maybe just this bit here gets leveled. But it's good to have a little bit of, you know, variance. We don't want it all at the exact same height, and most of this here is fairly level, so we'll probably keep these natural bits over here, but some of the big ones will get flattened. And that was one of the other things in the comments as well. A lot of people were saying to keep the hill and to do something with it, but I think the best thing to do is to flatten it, because I've got this vision and I think I need to stick to it, really. So what else is there? A lot of people were suggesting to do live streams of me digging. That makes a lot of sense, you know, that's the kind of thing that can be fun. But the problem is that I'm not really a live streamer. Now, when I'm not digging, I'm not talkative at all. Like, I don't really feel like saying much. I just listen to music and kind of get on with digging and enjoy that. And so live streaming for me doesn't quite work, because I'm just not someone who can really chat away. You know, I can do my videos, but just general chit chatter I'm not really good at. So it's kind of not for me, live streaming, which is a shame, because this is obviously a good thing for live streaming and I do enjoy that. But I only really live stream when other people, like other hermits, will join me, and that's not very often, so that's why I don't do a lot of live streaming. Anyway, at the moment I am pressed for time. I need to go and record some tutorials, so once I've done that I can come back and figure out how much time I can spend on this. And do those 2 blocks need to be there? No, they do not. I do not know why they are there. Okay, it's all done. I'll catch you next time. I am joking, This has taken me such a long time, and for the amount of time that it has taken me, I thought would have been a little further ahead than this right now. I'd expected to get the opening done and I'd be underground digging out the entrance to my base. But no, it is going to take so much longer than I thought. You know, this is a massive project, I know that, and I'm very ambitious for it, but it is taking a little longer than I expected. So I thought that I'd be steaming on into this, you know, making tons of progress, which I kind of have done, but I was actually expecting to make more. So I think I might slow it down, and next episode I'm going to focus on something else. I've got an idea for a project that we can do over here. Now I'm thinking that we might make the jungle I said it, didn't I? Jungle. The desert temple into a temporary base for now, which it kind of is, and just take it easy and do some other things over here while we're making progress with this, because the kind of pace I've set myself, I'm not going to be able to keep up with. This took me ages to do, and I can't do this kind of progress every episode. It'll just kill me. So we're going to slow things down, but there will be episodes where, we kind of crack on and make a lot of progress like we have in this one. Anyway, I moved the beacon over to here, and these 4 blocks represent the very centre of the area. So I'm going to have to move this again, aren't I? Because I need to blast out the entrance with TNT. But anyway, there is not much to report. Tons of going through picks and going back to the Enderman farm and repairing them, and then digging. One thing I did do though is I was going to bring everything down to this level here, and then I kind of felt like some contours would be good. Have some layers that are slightly higher than others, and that would also mean there's less blocks to mine. So it's slightly higher here in the middle, which is good. I think that will just give you a natural look over the surrounding areas. But that is pretty much it for this episode. I'm not going to do anything else, so I thought I'd end this one with just a couple of little things that I wanted to say. So a couple of episodes ago I showed you me doing some testing, doing the powered rails and all of that, and I messed up with that one. I'll put my hand up and say I got the whole thing wrong with the powered rails. I basically had a whole bunch of those in my design, and I was complaining about the minecart moving too fast. Now, when you've been playing this game as long as I have, I'm finding that it's easier to make mistakes like that, just because sometimes you just think you know it all, and I assumed that the minecarts couldn't go any slower because of the powered rails being on the track, and I didn't really give it a second thought. Now, if I'd have given it a second thought, maybe I would have noticed the problem. But anyway, it turns out that you can actually build a netherwart farm using the powered rails. You can put them in the correct position and let the minecart slow down as it travels along, and it will plant all of the netherwarts onto the soul sand. So that's something we're going to be doing in the future. A friend of mine on my server, DePaco, he's been building a really cool netherwart farm, and I'm definitely going to build that in here. Well, I say I mean in the ground, underground, in the base. In the future, I will be doing that. So I'm really excited for that project, although it'll probably be quite a while. There's tons of things I've got planned for this one. And so I want to end this one by saying thank you very much for all of the support on the previous episode. The likes, they really do mean a lot. It keeps me hugely motivated knowing that you guys are enjoying it. The views and the likes and the comments, all of that stuff really does add up. And this project in itself is also just motivating. I can't wait to see what it's going to look like when it's finished. But yeah, that's going to be it for me this episode. So I hope you enjoyed the digging. I know I didn't show any of it on camera, but there you go. I've done a hell of a lot. We moved a mountain this episode. That is exactly what we did. There's an episode title right there. So as always, thank you very much for watching, and I will catch you next time.